What's up, guys? What do I even say? Ugh. I hate that. What's up, guys? It's like the devil's lingo.
Yaman, are you reffing the recoupling tonight?
Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna jump right into it because you guys said that you wanted a part 2 of all of the Love Island secrets. So I'm just gonna dive right in. I think a lot of you probably assumed that we had a heads up on when we were gonna be on the show and like time to go buy clothes and makeup and kind of pack for 6 weeks, but to your dismay, does that even make sense? I found out 2 days before flying to Fiji. Before we go on the show, we're all sequestered for 2 weeks. So every single person is sequestered in a hotel room. You're not allowed to talk to your family. You don't have a phone. The only person you're allowed to talk to is your chaperone, who is looking after you, who is basically your babysitter.
Boolah, we're coming to you live from Fiji. The holding cellar of Love Island 2019. Sorry, I'm yelling. I have my babysitter here. She's taking care of me and making sure that I am well for the villa.
For 2 weeks. And I think it's interesting to know that most people that came on the show were in sequester all at the same time. We all flew there on the same time. So like Ray, he was there forever. He was there for like 4 weeks in sequester, and it's with no contact to the outside world, not being able to talk to anyone, like just seeing the inside of a hotel room. It's pretty...
I'm bored, I've been cooped up all day.
Deborah!
I'm Karen right now, and I would like to speak to a manager.
We were all going insane. We had no idea what was going on, what was being announced. Then during that, we obviously, the only time we had contact with the outside world, or a very limited number of people, we would go to shoot our press stuff for the show. So we shot one press video, and it was for the beginning of the show where everyone's names are when they're like walking through the airport. A couple of girls were shooting the same day, so I rolled up in a taxi cab and I had to face a completely different way. I had to sit like with my eyes closed for an hour while Mallory shot her little scene. And then I was supposed to change into my bathing suit so that I could be walking out of the airport in my bathing suit with my luggage, but the Fijian air officials let the crew know that it's actually disrespectful to be in your bathing suit inside the airport. So we had to change the entire thing. I wasn't allowed to wear my bathing suit. It was one of the most awkward things I've ever had to film because it was a legitimate airport. People were sitting there waiting for their flights. And when I decided that I was gonna do the booty drop, there were about like 65 people waiting for their flights, just watching through the window as I was like, oop. And I did it like 12 times and it was truly mortifying. I think another thing that I don't know if a lot of people know is there are Love Island condoms in the villa. And we would always be stashing them in people who got kicked off. We would always give them just a bunch of them so that they could take them home as souvenirs. Another interesting factoid, I've literally never said factoid in my life, so I don't know what that was, but is that during the PR week when we were shooting stuff, a bunch of influencers were down there. I think they already had gotten to see the villa, and a bunch of people from Big Brother were there, so we were introduced to a few of them. So we all actually met Winston before. We had no idea he was coming on the show. We just thought he was down there promoting the show, and then he walked in and I was like, wait, we've all met you before. So that was actually hilarious just to see him walk through the doors and be like, weird, interesting. A lot of people asked about the food situation and why we were never eating on camera, but if you look closely enough, a lot of the episodes that I was not in was because I was behind people either shoving chips into my mouth. I saw one episode where Kira and Cash were having this really serious conversation, but they were near the fridge. What is that?
What?
Cheesy potatoes.
I don't know what you mean.
And I looked in the fridge, and then deadpan looked them in the eyes and said, did you guys eat the cheesy potatoes without me? So when we were eating lunch and dinner, they usually never shot it just because no one wants to hear a conversation with someone's mouth full of food. Sometimes we would start talking while we were shoving our mouths with food, and we actually got yelled at because we were eating so much that they couldn't use any of the footage, because they were like, you guys have to stop eating. Literally always shoving your mouth with food, and we can't show it because nothing makes sense that you're saying. Another thing that I noticed was when our parents came in. My mom and Tessa were actually the first family to come in. And that's why you see me seriously like bolting off the couch. Another question that I get asked all the time, and I think everyone's wondering, is how you pack for 6 weeks and how you have that many cute outfits to shoot every single day in. And for me, that was not the case. Most of the times that I was in a really cute outfit, I was borrowing it from Elizabeth. I was always in her shoes, and the funniest thing about it was no matter what I was wearing, I would borrow a bathing suit or a cute dress or her shoes, something would break on the outfit. It started just becoming the running joke because no matter what, a strap would break, like the heel would break, like I would get something on the bathing suit. It was just so mortifying. But yeah, we all shared clothes. We repeated a lot of outfits. And yeah, we all just kind of helped each other out when we needed it. When I first found out that I was going on the date with Dylan, my first date with him, I had soaking wet hair because we were in the pool earlier, and it was like getting ready for a real date with all of your best friends. I had Elizabeth on one side, Kira on one side, and Carol on the other, all blow drying my hair at the same time. We were like making memes. We were like, well, you're going on a date like, getting ready for a date like. So the night of the football challenge, I was so excited. I was running from the downstairs to upstairs, and I slipped and cut my foot so deep on this metal part of like the entrance of the villa, and I was gushing blood, and I was like, oh no, it's fine, it'll just stop. And I'm sitting up there, Elizabeth's looking at this towel just full of blood. She's like, Alex, you need to go to the medic. So the medic came out, and I ended up actually having to get a tetanus shot. So that's a little interesting tidbit. Going off of that, whenever you would see the medic, they would write down what time they saw you and what they gave you. So whenever we would go to the medic, since we didn't know what time or day it was in the villa, I would always be like trying to peek over at her little clipboard and try to see what time it is. And I'd run back in and be like, guys, it's 10:30 in the morning. And it was just such a funny little secret that we all had that we would try to do. Not that it was a secret because we were wearing microphones and they knew exactly what we were doing. But that was something that we always did when someone got to see the medic. Something that I don't think a lot of people actually realize is that there are no cameramen just straight in our faces. They're all little hidden cameras up in the corners of each spot of the room. There were a couple of certain camera places that like were there and cameramen would stand behind them, but they never really, you didn't know that they were there unless something really crazy was going on. And then either they were behind the shutters of the kitchen and you would see like a hand creep out and move the shutter so he could move the camera into the face. And it was truly the funniest thing, just seeing hands creep out and you'd be like, forgot we were on a show. That's the weirdest thing I've seen today. It's like a plant would move, we'd be like, forgot that people are filming us talking about nonsense. The magic cabinet is something that I think a lot of people were so shook by because it's basically a cabinet in the kitchen, and it was when you needed anything, you would ask for it in the little beach hut that you sit and get interviewed in, and it would pop up in like an hour or 2 hours. One time I asked for eyelashes and a whole bag of eyelashes were in there. My face roller that was a little questionable to some people. That was there like a week and a half later. That was exciting. We would ask for certain snacks to be put in the magic cabinet. We would always ask for candy, and like Elizabeth said, we would start stashing it in other places because people started finding our hiding places. The sign at the end of the show when someone would get kicked off, when it said loves you and then it would pop up not, we honestly had no idea that it did that, and we would have these really dramatic long goodbyes. And when someone got kicked off and we saw it for the first time, all of us were like, oh, that's terrible. And we were so upset. And so every time someone got kicked off after the first time we saw it, we would start turning our backs or like cheering for them when the knot would come up, because we were like, that is so rude. Hilarious. When people would leave, it would be just the weirdest vibe in the villa. It just felt kind of empty. And we started just making bags of popcorn because everyone wanted to eat their feelings after. And so I started the tradition the first time and someone got sent home. And then when Alana got sent home, she looked me dead in the eyes and she goes, Alex, if you make popcorn when I go home, we are not gonna be on good terms. So Alana was the only person we did not make popcorn for, because we were like, we're doing this in memory of you, we love you. So those are kind of my funny ones that I have thought of. I'm sure there are a million more. And I saw a couple of people leave comments saying that they would love to do a question and answer kind of format with the Love Island. If you guys are literally so sick of me talking about Love Island and never want me to talk about it again, let me know. But if you guys want me to do a Q&A video, I would love to do that. So let me know your thoughts, and I love you guys. You guys are literally amazing, and I just love you guys so much. Thank you for subscribing and even watching my weird ass. So love you guys.